David Settle speaking with Laramie head coach Clint Reed as we get set for game number 7 in week 6. If that sounds a little off, it's because we start week 0, but it is game 7. You're sitting at 2-4, and this is your first year. How would you kind of self-evaluate where you're at right now, sitting at 2-4 in your first year as a head coach?
Yeah, we left some things on the table early in the season, and that's some growing pains that we're going to have to learn as a coaching staff and as a program. But at the same time, in the middle of the season, we've picked some things up. Statistically, it might not look great, but wins are wins right now. And so we're taking everything that we can. And right now we're down to a 3-game season to set ourselves up for the playoffs.
Obviously, that's going to be an important piece here down the stretch. Thinking back to last Friday against East, a tough loss. You were in that game. Despite really kind of getting dominated in the first half, you're only down. Chad's punt return puts you within 9-7. But you still lost by 2. What did you take away from the East loss, even though it was a tough one to swallow?
Yeah, it was. It was very tough. And if you were going to tell me where the game ended, in one sense you might think you'd be very happy with that, competing with a very competitive team. But at the same time, you get that taste, and it just feels like it slipped away with some things down the stretch there. And like I said, early on is what caused us some heartache there, and the defense really turned it up in the second half. But again, we're growing each and every day, and we're learning how to compete. And when we do make mistakes, we're finding ways to persevere through it. I've said this kind of a couple weeks, but it's kind of been the theme in the middle of the year, trying to find a way to turn that corner and find a way to get over that when we do make mistakes.
You're going to face a little bit of a struggling football team that's winless. Is this maybe a point where you feel like you can kind of turn the corner, knowing that this is kind of a 3-game season as you talked about?
Yeah, it is. And we want to start out of it real strong. In a 3-game season, we want to come out with a win. We want to be 1-0 with that 3 games going to set ourselves up for playoffs, and that's the emphasis. 1 game at a time, 1 day at a time. And the kids have really been focused this week. I mean, they've been talking about it. They're excited about it, and they're looking at it. This is the last third of the season, but it sets us up for that playoff situation.
Playoffs still a few weeks away. You get the South Bison in Cheyenne Friday night, 6 o'clock kickoff, by the way, folks. What are your impressions of South? What have you seen out of them on film?
Yeah, watching film and looking at names and numbers and trying to gather, you're always familiar with some key players coming back. You're looking for those multi-sport athletes, being involved in basketball as I was in the past, and I can't find them right now, and I'm not sure what's going on over there. It sounds like from stories I'm hearing that a lot of kids have transferred and moved around to other schools. Fowler, the young man over there, is the only name I really truly recognize, although no disrespect to some of the players, because I know there's a few others that are still there and on the line. So again, we're going to come face that double wing. They don't look like they have the team speed that they used to right now with that multi-sport athletes that just aren't participating with them right now. They've gone very young, so they've got some growing pains to go too. But we all have adversities in our programs. We do as they do. And you don't look over anyone in 4A here in the state, because they're very talented teams, and we got to respect them very much. So,
how difficult is it to prepare for that double wing? I know because you would have liked to probably been a little more prepared for it earlier in the year, but how difficult is it to go against a unique style offense like that we don't see that much in 4A right now?
We don't, and actually seeing a couple of teams in Rock Springs and South that does it. Didn't anticipate Rock Springs going back to it with their personnel. South sticking with it right now, but Coach Napton, he coached a double wing for many years in Colorado, so he's always prepared when we know it's going to be there, and we do. And so the personnel adjustments that we're going to make this week, as far as alignments go, and he's ready to go. And so we should be fine as far as the double wing goes. It's one of those physical offenses. It's hard to work during the week. Yeah. So you just fundamentally just walk over fundamentals and techniques, and where their blocking schemes are, how they're pulling, and where all those guys are coming barreling down for you.
How important is it that this team takes a nice step forward this week, though?
Oh, it's extremely important. It is. We need to, like I said, we need to go 1-0 in this 3-game stretch. We need to set the table for ourselves for coming back home against Sheridan. And so right now it's critical. It is. And I think that the kids feel that. They've already stressed it. You've heard it in meetings. You've heard it in talk on the field. They know the importance of this first game in the 3 games.
It's the Plainsmen at Cheyenne South again, a 6 o'clock kickoff. Laramie is 5-1 all-time in the series, including 3-0 at Cheyenne South. Again, 6 o'clock kickoff. You can join Verdon Hoops and myself on the broadcast call on KUWB, on our stream, or with our brand new KUWB app that's free to download in the App Store or Google Play. We'll start our broadcast coverage 5 p.m. Friday night from Cheyenne South High School's Bison Field.